So absolutely no religious reason for doing it. There's been plenty of opportunity for you to do it. So why decide not to?
I think it's partly circumstance and partly choice. I think when it comes to losing your virginity, there are kind of two camps of thought. There's kind of one camp that's like, I want this to mean something. I want this to wait for the right person. And obviously some people don't care.
Yeah.
I guess I was always in the first category.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily looking for the man that I was going to marry.
Right.
But I wanted, I guess, something that wasn't a one-night stand. I guess a kind of a
you
connection.
wanted there to be an emotional.
Yeah, I wanted a connection that was more than sex.
Yeah.
But then it's partly circumstance, and I guess I never found the right person.
Well, you had a boyfriend for, I think, 5 weeks. Is the
Yeah,
the
5
longest.
weeks.
So did he know that sex wasn't on the cards, or did you think, actually, I'm sorry, you're not the one?
No, actually, it was on the cards. It was at the point where I wanted to sleep with him, but then it just kind of didn't end up happening because I think he was on a bit of a rebound, because he came on, really strong at first, and then he kind of just 180'd.
Right.
He was actually, I think he actually kind of still had feelings for his ex.
Oh, I see. So complicated, messy, complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Don't need all that. So it's not a lack of confidence thing. It's not a thing about your own body that you don't want. I mean, you describe yourself as a bit of an exhibitionist at times.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really a particularly body conscious person. Like I say, I'm pretty body confident. I'm wearing like fairly revealing outfit now. Yeah, so it's not really...
So something...
Yeah.
And people have questioned your sexuality, and that's nothing to do with it?
That hasn't happened often. Like, I've had one person ask, do you think you might be gay? And no, I don't think so. I think, I'm attracted to men, but I just... I never found anyone that I felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
But it's not as if you are not a sexual person. I mean, you've been quite on the blog. You've talked about sex toys and things like that.
I did.
So there's pleasure in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main misconception that people have is that if you're still a virgin, or if you don't want to have casual sex, you're completely disinterested in sex, altogether.
And that's
whereas, no, that's not the case. I mean, I'm interested in sex. I'm hoping that it happens someday. Hopefully it'll be great.
Aren't you building yourself up for a huge disappointment? I mean, I wonder...
Well, hold on a second. He might be amazing.
He may very well be amazing, but... there is also that possibility that you could have saved yourself for something, and you might be disappointed, or they might disappoint you.
I don't think so, because obviously I've got friends. They say the first time isn't amazing. It's not the best time, so I'm not expecting some kind of miracle. I guess I didn't intentionally kind of build it up. Like I didn't intentionally wait this long. If I'd had kind of some sort of teenage boyfriend, like it would have happened by now.
Yeah.
But I guess I just never really met the right person. So I don't feel like I've put any expectations on it that, other people didn't have, if that makes sense.
No, fair enough.
Emma, there was a study, and this is what sort of triggered this. It tracked 16,000 young people. It's shown that this group not only having less sex than any previous generation before them, but also 1 in 8 of the 26-year-olds interviewed were still virgins. The sharp rise in the number of young people waiting longer to have sex may be because of a fear of intimacy and the pressure of social media. Is this a good thing? I mean, I've just looked down here. Ashley says, good for her. Self-respect goes a long way. Is it good?
The thing about what you're talking about is the most conservative generation. We are seeing that that's a big change. That usually happens when you look through the ages. We get very liberal, we get very conservative. It's as simple as that. And actually, I think that absolutely all power to anybody who elects to decide that they want to keep themselves for whoever.
Absolutely.
What I'd say
choice.
on the side of what I kind of preach is that sex is about adult play, and it's about, yes, mutual respect, but also it's about not having too much power and not creating a situation where you associate sex being a very powerful exchange, because one of the reasons is that you can't quantify whether your relationships will last. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And secondly, sexual rhythm and physical attraction are things that are very separate. So I can meet somebody and be very, very lustful, but actually when we have sex, it doesn't connect. And I work with quite a lot of people who've got married in what we would consider moralistic relationships, Christian, for example, who then have huge problems after they've got married because they can't interact. You're not going to do that. Obviously, you want to have sex.
Yeah.
My thing is more removing that whole idea of it being a powerful exchange. It's an important exchange, and it's a playful exchange, and it should be a great exchange.
But it is also, it's a very precious thing to give.
It's a precious thing if you have a moralistic perspective. I suppose what I would say, because I'm a feminist and there's nothing wrong with anybody's perspectives, and also I work in sex and relationships, my thing is to always take shame away. So when we say virginity has power, when we say that our body is something that is based on whether we have virginity or non-virginity, we create what would be considered a patriarchal, to some degree, argument over our bodies. My body's mine. If I want to play with it, that's OK. You're going to be just as worthwhile the day after you've had sex as you are right now. I think that's my argument.
What if you meet somebody and they are Mr. Right and they're perfect and you have this relationship, you fall in love, and then you find out that their sexual history is quite colourful and that there are many numbers? How will that ruin it for you?
Not really. I think, you know, sometimes if a guy said they slept around, I think if they'd slept around in the past but were kind of happy to, you know, settle down now,
and be committed,
that would be fine. Yeah, I think the only thing that would be a red flag if a guy was kind of sleeping around and that was kind of still what they wanted to do.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? If they were like, I do just want to sleep around, I'm not looking for anything serious, like, I don't want to pursue someone who's not interested.
Yeah.
But if they were like, you know, I've slept around in the past, but, you know, I'm happy to be with you now, then, like, that's not a problem.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But you also sound
very
really
sensible.
level-headed about it, which is that this isn't a thing about you wishing to be a virgin.
Yeah.
This is actually just about you finding a guy that you want to have sex with.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I think that's a very different situation than when we talk about kind of the power play that can be involved in a woman feeling that virginity makes her pure.
Yes.
It doesn't make you pure. It just means you haven't had sex.